Greetings from Sushant University, India. Wellbeing of Urban Space, Child-Friendly Approaches. Authors, PhD candidate Aruna Bharadwaj and Dr. Suruchi Modi. United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child defines children as people aged 0 to 17 years. As the world's most widely ratified international treaty, the UNCRC outlines children's fundamental human rights in 54 articles covering every aspect of child's life and experience. UNICEF launched child-friendly space initiatives in April 1999 as an effective means of providing large numbers of Kosovo refugee children and women basic social services. But as the world's urban population has risen sixfold, CFS urban planning has increasingly come into the use of global urban planning. Children are often placed in the most disadvantaged positions as the built environments of a city are constructed by adults for their own use and benefit. And the benefits of urban life bypass children and negative aspects can impact them hard. In India, Census 2011 also records 39% of urban population below 18 years. Projected population in 2050 of India is 165 crores, and that is a staggering number of children that we are talking about. Well-being of the urban space. The term well-being describes states of being happy, healthy, or prosperous, and the NEF model for well-being argues that overall happiness or satisfaction with life is only one part of well-being, and people engaged in bettering their skills and fulfilling the potential result in rich and fulfilling lives. This is a very important other part of well-being. For the urban space, this idea broadly transfers into a good quality built environment and an environment that provides opportunity for development and growth. Urban population and children. Literature review of urban population impacts highlights the extreme and irreversible suffering that children experience. Harry, a correspondent for the New York Times in 2015, described his family's horrific experiences of his posting in New Delhi due to extreme air, water, and food contamination. Children, nearly 50% of the school-going children in Delhi suffered from high levels of particulate matter in particular PM 2.5 and suffering from irreversible lung damage. Impact of rapid urbanization and lifestyle changes is also causing serious health hazards due to constant loud sound levels, indoor and outdoors, for adults and infants and young children. The project Impact of Contaminated Water on Children, conducted in 2022, identifies that children are most vulnerable because they drink more water each day than adults per kg body weight basis. Children on the studies of children in the urban space I identify that there is an increase in the working memory and reduced inattentiveness in children that went to school surrounded by higher green areas. Children's freedom to navigate public spaces on their own in the absence of adults, also referred to as independent mobility, is an indicator of child-friendliness of cities. An older study by Hillman in 1990 recorded a drop of 75% in independent mobility of children in comparison to their parents and grandparents. Many elements that children face are directly related to the amount of physical activity undertaken by children. Richard Larrock, in his book on active transportation, summarizes the evidence supporting the positive association between active transportation and several indicators of public health. Hence, it is beneficial that for children in general to spend times outdoor, intimately know their neighborhood and connect with their peers and experience nature alongside the way. Tim Gill. Um, uh, the responsible behavior, this responsible behavior encourages participation in community activities, voicing concerns about issues that pertain to neighborhood and social engagement with the neighbors and the community at large. Children's right to play in the has been explicitly stated in Article 31 in um, of this by that state parties recognize the right of children to rest and leisure to engage in play and recreational activities appropriate to the age of the child and also to participate freely in cultural life and the arts. Blinkert and Weaver hypothesize that children unable to play freely may suffer limitations in their physical, social, and cognitive development. This can be dangerous if it becomes the norm, leading to adults of future generations lacking essential social and personal skills. Diverse children and diverse urbanities. Despite children in different environments react and experience different, have different experiences and react differently. Parent anxieties and obsessive behaviors are also responsible for reduced children independent mobilities. So, despite high security and landscaped um, um, areas, higher income residential condominiums, deserted neighborhood streets hinder parental permissions for allowing children to venture out alone. Bharadwaj Bhattan, Saini in 2017. This anxieties transcend economic barriers. The resilience and risk-taking abilities exhibited by children in Indian urban villages also needs to be acknowledged, wherein the lack of opportunities can be understood as again as children in the are more prone to rising in adversities and making the best of the least that is available to them. So while we talk about diversity, gender in urbanity is an issue that is not being looked at upon. The perception of both women and children are impacted by the references to human um, um, have been because human has been traditionally perceived as a grown man. Gendered inequalities impact childhood in subtle ways, um, and Making Space for Girls campaign in Britain 2023 has identified that pre and adolescent girls will often avoid using play and neighborhood spaces where boys are present. Devi Sitaram's art series Brothers, Fathers, and Uncles captures in vivid detail the dominance of men in different spaces and time as of the day in modern day Kerala. While in contrast, Delhi government is planning to establish women-only parks. In conclusion, the research illuminates the impact of the environment on children development, engagement, safety, and play. There are many types of children existing in diverse circumstances with distinctive narratives, but at the same time, interconnected global and local issues. These interconnectedness provide novel ways, insights, which at times may seem paradoxical into the children and the children and their childhoods. Thus, there is a need for research on specific contexts, such as the gendered childhoods in developed and undeveloped or developing countries, and in different cultural settings and of children of different ethnicities. Thank you.